For more on this, we're now joined by Black Business Council CEO Kganki Matabane, and he joins us via our video link. Kganki, thank you so much for joining us this evening here in SABC News. Let's begin here. Your thoughts on the President's speech, that focus on the economy?
Thank you very much, and good evening to you and the listener and the viewers. We agree partly with what the President has said in terms of progress has been made. And we have thought that the President will use the opportunity to basically do a proper analysis of the past 30 years. But most of the figures that the President has quoted, they seems more like a public relation exercise than the reality. I'll give you example to the 2 or 3 examples. The President says 39% of the mining sector is owned by Black people, and I don't know where the President got the figures from. I think the people who have supplied the President with these figures don't like the President, because the real actual ownership of the total economy is less than 5%. And the one by Black people in the mining sector is less than 10%. So you can see, if you want to solve a problem, you need to firstly agree that this is the problem, identify it properly, and be honest, so that you can say for the next 30 years, we want to improve from the less than 10% to maybe 50%. But if you are already moving from a wrong data, like the 39%, you'll have a challenge, because you are not going to solve the real problem. The second one, he said, the Black ownership of the land is 25%, and it's actually 4%. And this is the publicly available information. I think the people who are writing the speech for the President, I think, should also then do a proper research before they put figures there, just to make him look like things are happening. It's important to be honest if you want to be able to change. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make amends. For example, if you look at the unemployment rates, the unemployment rate in 1994 was 13%. In 1995 was 15%. In 2013, it was 24%. Now, as we speak, it's 31%. So you can't then say the economy is expanding, the economy is creating jobs, because that's not true. Data that is there, it tells us a different story. So you can't manufacture data as you go along. You have to utilize the data that is there, so that you can be able to be honest with yourself and improve, because the intention is not to lie to the people, but to tell the truth, so that you can work together with us to improve the economy of the country. But you can't do it by firstly not telling the correct facts. So we will like to advise the speech writers of the President to say, please make sure that you give the President the right speeches. We were expecting the President, because we've got the economic policy in South Africa called NDP 2030. We were expecting the President to say, this is what we have achieved in the NDP. 2030 is just around the corner. We are in 2024. We're expecting the President to say, all these targets that we set for ourselves for 2030, this is how far we are. And this is how we're going to improve. For example, the President spoke about, we will always say, we will support small business, we will support women-owned businesses, we will support Black business. But you have to take a account of the past 30 years first, to say, in 1994, Black business was supported so much. 30 years later, it's been supported so much, so that we can then plan to say, in the next 30 years, this is how we're going to support Black business, or that's how we're going to grow the economy. Youth unemployment is at this worst level. So, yeah. Even though we agree with the story of Tinzwalo, but that is a minority of the cases, because we just need to take the stance that is there, that South Africa has got probably the only country in the world that has got unemployed graduates, who are almost more than 1 million. So you've got the engineers who are unemployed, you've got accountants that are unemployed, you even now have doctors that are unemployed. So Tintwalo who went to a FET college, chances are Tintwalo is unemployed. It's part of the 75% youth unemployment. So the president was basically talking about the 25%, and that cannot be a representative figure. So that's why we're appealing to the president and the president's picture writers to say, let's not change the facts and the stats to suit a situation. Let's be honest with the information that we have there, so that we can improve. You can't improve if you are moving from an incorrect and a deliberately incorrect base. You need to move from a proper base, correct base, so that we can improve moving forward.
And I want to touch on, the issues of unemployment in this country, and something that you just alluded to. And the president spent a lot of time dealing with unemployment and, the various programs through, the presidency, which they have created to ensure that, more young people have jobs in this country. But one would also ask, and, when you also look at the unemployment rate in this country, I mean, he even went on to say that as much as the unemployment rate is high, but in recent times, the unemployment rate is even better than pre-COVID times. Pre-COVID times, they have managed to create more jobs. What do you make of those sentiments, saying that more jobs were being created even pre-COVID times?
Yeah, again, we have to look at the facts instead of trying to create facts. So if you look at the facts again, most of the programs of government, including the ones that the private sector tried to do, for example, the YES program. The YES program is not creating jobs; it's creating what is called job opportunities. And maybe I'll give you an example of what the job opportunity is. So if you're digging a 1 kilometer a hole, and I get appointed today to dig 100 meters. The following day I come again, I dig another 100 meters. Then from a reporting point of view, they are going to say they've created 2 job opportunities. But when you look at the reality, there's no job there. So that's why we're appealing to the president to say, let's move away from public relations. We cannot run the country through public relations. We have to run the country through facts, so that you can be honest with yourself and do an assessment. So there are so many programs that are supposed to be creating jobs for young people, but those are not creating jobs. They are creating what is called job opportunity. And I just explain what the job opportunity is.
All right.
So job opportunities are not sustainable.
All right. Kganki, thank you so much for your time this evening. Of course, that is Kganki, Black Business Council CEO, Kganki Matabane.